Welcome to nickstream. Rainy day in LAX. Welcome, welcome, y'all. We're flying out of LAX, y'all, on our way to Mexico. About to get ourselves a tummy tuck. Cloudy, cloudy. Flying through the clouds on our way to Mexico. We're going to honor the tummy tuck 4. Smooth takeoff, everybody relax. See a lot of scared people in the chat. No need to fear. Alright, let's speed this puppy up. Welcome to nickstream. It's always a pleasure. Like I said, we are flying out of Los Angeles International Airport on our way to Mexico, specifically Matamoros. Welcome aboard the nickstream. This is your captain speaking, the anchor baby. Got a lot of fun in-flight entertainment today. We're going to be dealing with the Tummy Tuck 4, the immorality of nations, and the thin line of society. The ending of the woke takeover? Are we about to take back the country? Oh, maybe that's too much. Equity, cities, and more. Men and women, sexual immorality. And we're going to be talking about the Jews. Well, we'll bring a little bit of light to that situation. That and your calls on nickstream. Kick back and relax. You are flying nickstream. Oh yeah! How's your Friday going? Little rocky in the clouds there. But we should be hitting blue sky once we get up there. Right on. What is up, everybody? Like I said, this is your captain speaking, the anchor baby. It's a pleasure to have you all here today on this fine Friday. Gonna get down with some stuff here. Want to get into this Mexico story. I got some stuff to say about it. Some info, some fun stuff, and you probably know what I'm talking about. If you don't, the Tummy Tuck 4 is what the media are calling the 4 Americans that were kidnapped by gunmen in Mexico. Rainy day in Los Angeles. It's coming down hard here in LA. Or at least for us, it was coming down hard now that we're leaving LA, correct? Gonna have fun this Friday next stream, so pleasure to have you all here. Welcome, Lady C, Sal, Ryan, Stephen Whale, Tar Baby, Russell. What's up, Eric Bullock, Renesio, Yes Gunner, Kolya. Is that a new name? Welcome to nickstream. We got DKO, Depressed Toilet. What's up, Teresa? Who's your bear? Abe is main. Love Soda does not like juice. Raymond. John Pa. DJ on Pa. Zong Cena. Seal C. What's up, man? Great Bowls of Fire. Lord Colin B. And Wanderlust City. And so many more. It's a pleasure. We got a good show. I'll pick you up. Just tell me when you land. It's raining in LA. Right on, Stephen Will. Well, look, we got a good show. We got a big show, good show ahead. So make sure you stick around. Let me just first welcome the first class super chatters while I fix my camera here. First class seats already purchased. You can buy tickets if you super chat. But we do want to welcome the magnanimous Noah's Arkansas. Says, no African drums beating in my heart. Welcome to first class, sir. Sit on down. Enjoy yourself. Let me make sure these are all from today. Yeah, Noah's Arkansas. Thank you. Lord Bibby, it says, is the Carlos Santana station playing in first class this evening? If we going down listening to Santana. Don't worry, we took your DNA already, so we got the clones in the tanks. Should anything happen, but we're not speaking ill already, right? Based America First with the first class super chat says, did you just see just pearly things with Fuentes and single women? Women said men should earn over 60,000. Pearl said that's top 10%, actually top 5%. But are her female guests top 10%? Awkward realization silence. Yeah, we might get into a little bit of women's stuff. I did not see that, though, Based America First. Thanks. I'll check it out. Right on. Okay, nickstream. Let's go. Let's make sure that everything's cool here. Everything is fine. Flying through the clouds. On our way to Mexico, like I said. Because there's a lot going on. Pretty significant stuff has happened. And we will have calls, of course. Oh, hold on here. Make sure the plane's fine. You always got to make sure the plane's fine, right? We're not climbing to our altitude, our cruising altitude. The reason is because we're not going fast enough. So let's speed on up there. And, of course, the seatbelt signs are coming off, and you know what that means? Means you can call in. Number is 760-515-3855. You can call in and talk about what you want to talk about. Get it off your chest. We'll talk about what I'm about to bring up here. Talking about the Tummy Tuck 4. As the media is calling them, those 4 Americans who were kidnapped by gunmen in Mexico. And 2 of them found dead. Pretty significant. American citizens abroad being killed. Lots being said about it. A lot of mess, whatever. But America saying, some Republicans saying it's time to bring a American military presence down there. Renesio, thank you for that. We got another first class super chat. Come on down, sir. Enjoy, or lady, enjoy your first class seat. Thank you very much for the support. And let me make sure I'm not missing anyone here. Oh, this is all from today as well, huh? Oh no, that was the other week. My apologies. Back to the show. So, Mexico. Maybe you heard about this, but these 4, supposed to be 5, Americans went down there seeking a medical procedure. 4 Americans kidnapped by a cartel. 2 killed, 2 survived, are now back. One of them returned injured, shot in the leg. It's unclear why exactly. Thought to be mistaken identity, as some are saying. Thought to be mistaken identity. Investigations going down as to why this happened, okay? And it's, like I said, unclear why. But there was a fifth, the Tummy Tuck 5, it was supposed to be. Because a woman was denied entry into Mexico. See, the 5 went down to the border. Cheryl Orange is her name. As you can see here. Oh, no, that's an ad. Cheryl Orange traveled to the border. with the other four. She was unable to enter Mexico because she lacked the proper identification. I guess a lack of papers saved her life. Possibly. A case report obtained by News Nation states that Orange appeared worried and nervous, and an odor of marijuana had been emitting from her person. Smoking loud, rolling loud. A couple things I want to say about this story. But basically, they went down there seeking this so-called, tummy tuck abdominoplasty. Okay? What the heck is that, by the way? What the heck is an abdominoplasty?
Often, factors such as multiple pregnancies, substantial and exercise,
maybe I shouldn't play this.
And can make the abdomen appear disproportionate with the rest of the body. Improve body contours. Individuals
turn away if you're grossed out.
On the extent of tissue will make an incision just above the pubic area.
No!
But it is important to realize that you will have a scar.
Oh, take that. This is interesting to note. You will have a scar for deciding to do this.
A second incision is made around the layers.
All right, that's enough. Jeez. Sorry about that. I didn't even know what a tummy tuck was, but they went down there. They traveled to the border for a cheap medical procedure, if you will. Cosmetic procedure. Many people out there want to change the way they look. Many people, would like that. If they had the money, many would. Many more than you think. I imagine. Teresa used to work for a plastic surgeon. So, like I said, many want this. This lady, Cheryl Orange, tried to go with them, was denied entry, was later reported to have a smell of marijuana, because she called the cops and all that when she was worried they wouldn't come back. The report from the Brownsville Police Department also stated that Cheryl did not appear to know the details of 𝒔𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 surgery. You see, that's one of the four. That's one of the ones that survived. 𝒔𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. So Shaid Woodard, Zindell Brown, 𝒔𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, and Eric James William. The ones that returned were Latavia and James. Eric. Okay. See if they pop up here on the screen. So the report from Brownsville Police Department stated that Cheryl did not appear to know the details of 𝒔𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 surgery, but did state that she believed the surgery to be a gluteal augmentation. So it might have been more than one person wanting the surgery. One of them being a gluteal augmentation, okay? They wanted that Brazilian butt lift, BBL. You know what I'm saying? That is huge in the culture right now. They really want it. It's a big thing, right? Large posteriors. I'm trying to clean it up a little bit. Large butts, big butts, okay? Big butts, and I cannot lie. That is big. It's big. It's been, pushed by rap. Nick doesn't believe in ad blockers. Daily Mail doesn't let you use their website without ad blockers anymore. Yeah, Based America First says BBLs have lots of complications. Okay, a lot of people are willing to risk their health and well-being for the chance at a larger butt. So this is pushed by the culture, by rap, and a lot, and people think different things about it. Personally, I think it's shape, not size, but no need to get into all that. Degenerate. It also might be a little bit of a gay psyop, get you into butts. What the? Sippy straws, the bottles with the little nipple. You know what I'm talking about? Those water bottles that you have to that has that like the nipple, and big butts are all gay psyops. Confirmed on nickstream. This is true. It's fact. Okay. Anyways, enough playing. The report continued. Cheryl stated that she would not be surprised if her friends got arrested because they are known to party and use narcotics. So they're into all this stuff. Her friends were into all this stuff. They wanted cosmetic surgery. They wanted to change how they look. They're into partying, drugs. They're rolling loud. You know what I'm saying? Chiefing. You know what I'm saying? So crazy stuff. sad in a sense, death, whatever, but, let's not get all emotional. I mean, let's not be fake. So Cheryl Orange survived, did not come down there. Her friends, 2 of her friends made it back. Crazy. Cartel violence is wild. Let me know if you hear that like grinding sound, kind of like a grinding sound. Lol, LOL, Nick's posterior psyop conspiracy is not something to laugh at. Stern look. So they're into, think about this. They went down there. No, you hear about the gang violence. You hear about a lot of stuff going on down in Mexico. Yet they were willing, like many, I know many who even here in California, they'll go down to TJ, they call it Tijuana, for a weekend of partying. I've been invited a couple times. I always thought to myself, heck no. Why would I take that risk? You hear about crazy stuff happening in LA already. It's wild. So they're into all this stuff, into wanting to change themselves, into the partying, into the narcotics, and willing to risk their very lives to do it. And in this case, 2 of them did. They were killed in Matamoros, Mexico. Matamoros. Which is kind of interesting, Just the name is kind of interesting. Matamoros means more killer. I mean, the name of the city is more killer. And I don't know. I was looking into a little bit of the Arab history in Mexico. And there are a lot of Arabs living in Mexico today. But I think that's because of modern immigration. I can't be quite sure. Maybe one of you guys knows. I can't be quite sure, though, about the modern, Arab influence or whatever, or Arab populace in Mexico, if it's because of modern immigration. It might have been historical as well. But you got to understand that the Spanish were, basically ruled by the Arabs for like 800 years, leaving a impact that's, seen today in the language, Think about the word ojalá, hopefully. That means hopefully in Spanish. Ojalá. Inshallah. That's an Arab word. What does that mean? I should know this already. I'm doing a show about it. Inshallah. It means if Allah wills it. Ojalá. Like other words too. The language and other things. Okay, 800 years is a lot. So I don't know if the name Matamoros comes from a historical Arab influence, because I don't know if the Moors were actually in Mexico or if it was just Hernan Cortez, Spaniard, who went to the Americas, colonized the Americas, if you will. Right on. And Cortez, I read, called the natives, he called them Moors, So I don't know if they were actual Arabs. He just called them Moorish because of their, what he compared to Islamic rituals of animal sacrifice and stuff. But if you don't know, Moor, the word Moor, it's a European exonym, meaning a name that a outside groups gives a group. It's like how we say Germans, but they're Deutsch. They're Deutschland. It's not. They say their country is Deutschland. Germany is an exonym in a sense. So European exonym for Arabs, okay, specifically North African Arabs. The term's been used widely for more things as a pejorative by the Europeans and by others, but it means basically sort of black Arabs, okay? Black and North African Arabs, if you will. And so that's kind of an interesting play on fate and language. The Matamoros, the cartel killed. They went to Matamoros. The Moors went to Matamoros to be killed by more killers. I'm talking about the Tummy Tuck 4. At least the Tummy Tuck 2 that died. So, I mean, that's maybe too soon. Is it too soon? Too soon to be playing with that? So, yeah. More killers in Matamoros. The Moors died. But, it's just a little bit interesting to think about, at least for me. And then you think, and it made me think about Mexico and America, and conflict and disagreement, made me think about a lot of things. You know, Matamoros was a center of conflict during the Mexican-American War. Mexico and America used to be at war. You may have heard of the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, which ended this Mexican-American War in 1848. It actually started California, gave it its statehood in a sense. Some might say it that way. And you know, you talk to I've spoken to Mexicans here, you know, Mexican Americans, if you will. Mexican Americans so-called here in California. And I've been here since 2019. I used to work when I got here, I started working in the restaurant business. I started cooking as I did up in Canada. And I found some pretty good jobs, and it was pretty cool. I started working at some pretty nice places. One was the Chateau Marmont. It's got some fame to it. Famous people. I saw Robert Downey Jr. I probably mentioned this a few times. Like, ooh, any chance I get to talk about the Chateau Marmont? Ooh, yeah, I met Robert Downey Jr. and Nicole Kidman, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, you probably heard me talk about this. But in the kitchen, it's all Mexicans, okay? You can work at the nicest place, but their Mexicans are cooking the food for you, okay? And they were hard work. They were, you know, I say hard workers kind of with an asterisk because they would be quick to talk about you like, hey, come on, doing something, please. That was the meme. That was the meme in the kitchen. The Mexicans would, especially if you weren't like a Spanish speaker or a Mexican. We had a sous chef, a black gay sous chef. His name was Tima. And the Mexicans would be hard on him, and the Mexicans would be hard on anybody. Everybody, you know, you got to hit him back, and they'll respect you a little bit. You know, it's ribbing, but they were like tough on everybody. And by tough, I mean just annoying, basically. Really, is what I mean. They'd be like, "Come on, doing something, please, doing something, come on." But the second you said anything to them, they're like, you can see them get a little mad. But I was working with the Mexicans, and they'd call me a racist. Although they love talking to me, they'd be like, "Oh, Nick," they'd be like, "Man, you're such a racist." You know, I was open about Trump. I was open about a lot of stuff. They'd be like, "You're so racist." But afterwards, they'd, you know, invite me over for some beers and chill, and they'd be like, "Hey, Nick, man, it's so nice talking to you at work. You make the time go by." Because we're arguing, right? And people love arguing. And so, but they would talk about, "Oh, this is Mexican land. California's Mexican land," they'd say, and stuff like that. And we wished we had our land back. And these were like people were born in America, lived and born in California, SoCal, spoke English. Many of them, but if they were around the other Mexicans, especially the older ones, they laid it on thick, only Spanish. "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't understand you." Like, laid it on thick. You know, it was a sense of pride, I could tell. Anyways, they would talk about how it's Mexican land. This is Mexican land. We need it back. Mexico, the Mexicans it was taken from them. You know, maybe they're not aware. But after this war, you know, Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, you know, some say it was a war, you know, started by Mexico. They fired the first shot. Okay. And you know how history is. History is a delusion. History is what? It's a collection of stories by different historians who are wrestling with the raw material of the past. Can you really say there's such a thing as history? But anyways, some might say the conflict was egged on by America, but, you know, others, I think it's widely agreed on that Mexico had a $3 million debt to America, and this debt, you know, they're defaulting on this debt, kept rising tensions and other things. I don't think the full story is said about that on both sides. But rising tensions finally led to a war, okay, and the war finally ended with U.S. being the winner, okay. And as the winners, the spoils are yours. Think about it. Mexico City was captured. Mexico was America's in their hand. You could say they took a Mexican land, but the spoils were theirs. But another perspective could be is they largely returned Mexico back to the people. They could have kept it. They could have kept Mexico and made it theirs. But they gave it to the Mexican people. And there were some concessions. There was some hey, you lost. There were some concessions by the Mexicans. They gave up large parts of California. I read they thought that California wasn't a big deal though. There weren't many Mexicans there anyways. So that's to the Mexican workers I was working with. They were saying, "Oh, it was our land." There weren't many. Turns out the Mexicans were, they weren't happy to, but if they were going to give up something, they were like, let's just give them California. There's nothing over there. There's nobody living there. There's nothing. Turns out there's a bunch of gold and good stuff. So too bad. So sad. But, in many ways, a lot of people benefited from the treaty. And America paid 13,000 Americans died, $18 million in damages, what I read. So America paid. And here's an interesting thing, is the Mexicans who ended up on the new American side of the border, they were given American citizenship. So you're welcome. They were given full American citizenship, something that was historically unique. Okay, they didn't have to apply or qualify. Them and their progeny would then be Americans, and what some argue, maybe not anymore, is the greatest country ever created. I think so. So, and here's another interesting thing, just to not harp on this, Mexican-American history. What you may not understand is that Mexico at the time was ruled, they fought for independence from the Spaniards, right? And so they were now Mexico. We're Mexico, we're independent from the Spaniards. But at the time, they didn't have political, it's not like they suddenly had civil rights and property rights. They were suddenly a republic with a bunch of rights. That's not true. They went through a lot of turmoil, multiple constitutions, like 3 in 20 years. And basically, they were ruled by mestizo oligarchs who were of Spanish descent. Some might say that the Treaty of Guadalupe and afterwards allowed them to have property rights and stuff. They gave Mexico back to the people. So a little bit about Matamoros and Moors and the stage where this 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 thing happened. Now a lot has happened since then, and what I'm talking about here is going to kind of set the stage for what I want to say. Now you have Republicans saying the U.S. troops should enter Mexico. They should have a military presence. Lindsey Graham saying, "I would tell the Mexican government, if you don't clean up your act, we're going to clean it up for you." And Mexican President López Obrador, he said he vowed to bring the killers to justice. But he lashed out at what he called tabloid coverage of the incident and accused the media of not giving the same attention to killings of Mexicans in the United States. So, interesting to think about, don't you think? There's stories on both sides. There's stuff going. There's fights that have been going down for a long time. And personally, a lot of this causes me to examine myself, and it should cause people to examine themselves. What made these 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, as they're called, go down there, willing to risk themselves for all this? Here's a little thing from Daily Mail. Fentanyl is surging in the U.S. because of social decay and not the border crisis, the Mexican president tells Biden. López Obrador claims rise in single-parent families and kids being kicked out of their homes, and lonely grandparents are fueling the drug use. Yes, illegals and criminals are bringing over drugs. They're not sending their best, right? They're rapists and criminals, as Trump said. But there's a demand. There's an undeniable demand. You got to blame the drug dealer and the drug user. Social decay is the cause of the fentanyl surge, according to the Mexican president. Social decay is the cause of these people going down there and getting themselves killed. And Lindsey Graham is now saying, "Oh, we're going to clean it up for you." But we got stuff to clean up here. We got to clean up our own act. There's corruption in our hearts that would cause these people to even think about going down there for this and risk their lives. And, it's like they say, "Oh, no, Americans should be killed anywhere." Well, stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? Stuff happens and Americans die here. So it's kind of interesting what's going on here. You know, the Mexican cartel is apologizing for this kidnapping and the killing of these Americans. So they got scared. They got scared right quick, saying, no, 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 no. Let us do our thing with the drugs and our thing. Don't send any peeps. No Marines, please. Okay, we didn't mean to. We didn't mean to. We got a nice thing going on with the coyotes, sending people up and all that. Please don't suddenly send in the crackdown, because they know it would work. A crackdown would work. You wonder sometimes, stuff going on here, okay? Immorality on display, desires and appetites, drugs, cosmetic, all this violence, okay? Rising violence. You think about, it's like you many law-abiding citizens feel trapped in the country they grew up in. And you wonder, is it possible to have a normal life in our country back? Yes, it is. It is in some ways. But the people in our way is the corrupt government and our own corrupt hearts. Look at El Salvador for a moment. You saw the government there cracking down on MS-13. You know, you've seen these images. They're carting them in by the busload into this 40,000 inmate prison facility. They're breaking the tombstones and effigies made to these, you know, famous cartel members. And it's like and they're like infringing on rights or whatever, right? Like, I'm sure maybe some of you know better than I exactly which way, but many are saying this is like they're suspending the Constitution and suspending rights. And some may criticize that, and you may not be exactly wrong. Some might even call it government violence. They're violating their rights. But it's what immoral societies get. Who raised those gang members in El Salvador? Who raised those gang members in Mexico, right? It's what you get. We deserve government violence, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, we kind of deserve it because we want to be safe, which you can't blame people for that. Impartial justice, January 6th, COVID-19 scam, and the ruling of criminals. It's what we deserve for not speaking the truth, wanting to be safe over anything. And you can't blame people for that. And allowing corruption within the government, within ourselves. Yeah, I think it's fair to call it a suspending of rights, but it's almost like when you let it get that bad, it has to be this way. And then maybe that allows, maybe this allows for another type of evil to come in, government takeover, because you suspend rights. Well, you know what I'm saying? It starts getting worse and worse in other ways. It starts getting wilder and harder to deal with. Hold on here. So, enforcement, all this stuff. You follow me here? Pretty crazy stuff. And think about the thin line of society. You've heard of the thin blue line. Cops are a thin blue line between us and pure chaos. The thin brown line, that's mine. Garbage men. Garbage men stopped working tomorrow. Pandemonium. Okay? Sewage, pandemonium, society ends. The thin brown line. I think about Katrina. You know, Hurricane Katrina. Was that New Orleans? When that happened, gangs took over. Overnight, rape, murder, everything. And this is in America, where you have laws and police. And I'm not even talking about the stadium and where they put the people, because there was a bunch of crime happening there too. But just in the streets, it was wild, wild west. It was just you and the gangs and whatever evil people. In America, overnight. So I feel like this story just kind of, really puts on display desires, appetites, and many things here. I think I laid it out what I wanted to say. Yeah, it's wild. And then a little bit on immigration too. I heard the Mexican president is saying, if Republicans want to come down here and bring in troops and all that, I'm going to ask Mexican nationals in America to not vote for them. Think about that. Like, outrightly saying that, admitting and outrightly saying that there's a huge group of people in this country who are hateful. They're American. They're hateful anchor babies. I've talked about this. Hateful anchor babies, never truly loving their country, having an alliance elsewhere. You know, you hear the phrase demographics matter, but matter how? You know, there's like a little bit of a fight there because Christians, I don't think they like hearing that. Well, you should ask, well, how? How do demographics matter? Well, have you seen these voting maps? Have you seen these 2016 like voting maps where it's like if all women voted, if only people of color voted, and it's pretty wild when you think about it. So in that sense, demographics absolutely matter. You know what I mean? Should you only have let me see if I can even find it. Oh yeah, check it out. I think it's this. Demographics voting maps. But anyways, you see these maps, and it was and if it was if only all women voted, it'd be all blue. If only men voted, it'd be red. If only people of color voted, it'd be like blue beyond blue. And Hillary would have won. So yeah, in that sense, demographics absolutely matter. Immigration should. I mean, look at what's going on. It makes you think, what are we allowing? But in another sense, they don't. If you're talking about the soul, well, no. So it's not that hard to square that, okay? Because I know people get caught up or something. So that's the story of the Tummy Tuck 4. That's what's going on there. Pretty crazy, and kind of insightful, kind of interesting what's going on there, huh? Don't you think? Okay. All right, y'all. Let me see what's up with the chat. And I believe we got some first-class super chats. I don't want to miss you guys. And we definitely still on our way to Mexico on the plane. We are on our way. Who wants to get a tummy tuck? Who in chat is getting a tummy tuck? Cheap tummy tucks when we land. Nickstream. Make sure you use code Nickstream. Make sure you use code Hateful Anchor Baby, whatever you want. To oh, I had a caller as well. My apologies. You can call in 760-515-3855. Let me unmute that so you can call in. But yeah, we got cheap cheap tummy tucks when we land. Make sure you use code Nickstream for 20% off in Mexico. We're on our way. I want to welcome, I believe it's, hold on. We got a first class super chat here from Nick M. Pleasure. Thank you, sir. Says, free tummy tuck is fast for a couple days. You know, I read that the tummy tuck fifth, Cheryl Orange, I was talking about her, said she was expecting her friends back in 15 minutes. So that's wild. I mean, I don't think anything takes, I don't know. 15-minute tummy tuck. I don't know about that. But what else we got? We got just a fresh here first class super chat, first class seat, a first class ticket for Who's Your Bear. Thanks for the support. Come on down and sit on your first class seat. Our lovely flight attendants will attend to you. He says, I ready for my tummy tuck. Not NGA. What's NGA? What does that mean? Oh, you gonna have a scar. Spoiler alert. Welcome, man. Welcome. I can't quite remember. Didn't I take a call from you? I may have handled your call incorrectly. You know what I'm saying? No hard feelings. Tummy tuck action coming up. Let me just set this up here. I want to get into this next thing. Did I have anything else to say about the tummy tuck foe? You guys know what I'm saying? You guys follow me on this fight between them, America and Mexico? I mean, it's pretty interesting what AMLO said. The social decay is the cause of the surge in drugs. I mean, he can't. you can't hate him for that. He's just absolutely right. You can't hate him for that. Amazing. What's up, real Mr. Mad? Welcome. Mari Ubaldo, Alex V. Pleasure. Emperor of Cats. That's super cool. Josh. I'm seeing some new names. Donnie Armour. What's up, man? Lady C-Sal. Did I say hi to you? Are you one of our lovely flight attendants? Nick M. clarifies with another first class super chat. Thank you so much. Says, I meant fasting. Free tummy tuck is fasting for a couple days. Yeah, there you go. How about you stop eating? It's not easy for some people though. I mean, people got issues. People got issues. There. Look at these. Look at the tummy tuck foe. The TT foe. They went down there. They wanted so badly that they would be willing to cut themselves up and get this done. You know, it's harder to just deal with what's going on inside and eat less because you're eating because you got issues and it's spiritual issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's harder to deal with. So might as well cut me up. It's wild. It's truly wild. What's up, Point Fire? And some people think about this too. Not to harp on this topic anymore, but like some people want like, oh, just a little nose job, for example, or just a little thing. See, that's fine, right? Just a little thing. But it kind of brings light to sin or just kind of like spiritual issues in general. Even a little is everything. Because the idea that you would even want to change yourself like that. Maybe I shouldn't speak so. Are you kind of following me here? That desire that you would even have that desire, however small, should point to something deeper going in. Yeah, Mario Baldo, you can call in. Love Soda does not like juice with a first class super chat. Come on down, sir. Sit down on your first class seat. Says, free tummy tuck, train ride, and shower. Yes, we have showers on nickstream. Yes, Gunner with this first class super chat says, glizzing tonight, right? Oh, you guys want to see some VR glizzies? I mean, what I'm saying by that is, for those that don't know, is sometimes I get down on VR and I'm basically a big hot dog in virtual reality trying to talk to people. If you guys enjoy that kind of content, maybe we could do it tonight. Maybe. Hey, what's up, Ivana Spencer? Kevin Howe? Gabe's for Rec. Okay, let's get into this next topic here. Let me know if the music's too loud. Speaking of independence and immorality and whatnot, when different peoples are in proximity, conflict happens, right? That's just what happens. When people are different and they're close, Nick gonna tell us how he stole Mexico? Oh, that's an old chat. Sorry. My restream chat's busted. What's up, Lin Yenshin? Okay. So here's what's up. I'm talking about proximity of people. They get together, they don't like each other, they fight. And we know this going on all too well. In America domestically, and over time in history, people living close, different people that disagree, different religions, they look different or whatever. I think that's the least of it, looking different, but it's because it's more because they are different in behavior and in behavior and religion and belief. And so there's been some talk of people in America willing to build cities. You heard about this? Elon Musk, Trump. Are the white people going to build some like awesome city, crimeless city that'll only last for a little while until they get weak and let the POCs in. Hey, caller, I'll get right to you in a moment here. Just hold on for me. But are the whites building nice cities? Come on, don't leave me behind. I'm not one of those hateful anchor babies. No, that's shameful. I'm just joking. That's a shameful way of speaking. Begging. Hey, I don't mind either way. God's got me, right? Okay, I got a caller here before I get into this other story. Let me get to this caller. Caller, you're on the air. Your name and where are you calling from? What's up, Marty? How are you doing? Welcome. Okay, let me turn this down here, and let me just put down the mic here because I keep moving it around and causing so much noise. So, my apologies, Marty. Welcome to nickstream. Pleasure. Go ahead. Speak freely. Speak freely. You said you got some bad news? You said you don't have what? And what's that? Reflection? Oh, you're telling me that you can't move your left arm right now? And I don't mean to be like I'm not playing ignorant here, but out of curiosity, like exactly what's going on? Like your arm. Oh, you guys can't hear the caller. My apologies, Marty. The audience couldn't hear you. So let me explain. Marty 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 has kindly called the show. And she's telling me she's got a little bit of bad news. I believe the callers can hear you now. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, they can hear you now. And so
I just found out from today I don't have no reflection in my left arm.
Yeah, Marty's explaining to me that she has no movement in her right arm. Or you said left arm, and I'm just asking her to clarify here. So your arm is at your side right now, unable to move.
Yeah, I'm using my right arm right now.
That's crazy to hear. How did that happen to you?
Well, I used to be a caregiver, and then they waited for 2 years to find out that I had a nerve damage in both my neck and shoulder. It took them 2 years to find out about that, and then today the doctor tried to reflect my left side, and I had no reflection.
And so it's been progressively getting worse, or did it happen suddenly?
Yeah, it's getting worse. So I'm hoping it doesn't reflect into my spinal cord.
That is crazy to hear. So did you get injured, or what happened?
Yeah, I got injured because I used to be a caregiver for a couple of years. I was a caregiver for a couple of years, and then I got hurt on the job, and then I had to go through workers' comp, and they were trying to tell me I don't have medical issues. So now it's reflecting on my spinal cord. So, yeah, I'll have a reflection in my left.
When you say it's reflecting on your spinal cord, what does that mean? I just don't know what these terms mean.
I may become paralyzed pretty soon. Who knows?
Wow. I've never spoken to or met someone that's dealing with this. That's it's wild to hear that, Marty 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm kind of irritated. I've been trying to get in contact with my lawyer and talk to these doctors, but yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
I'm sorry about that. But I had to deal with something there. So you're is it like progressing or are you still, or you're not sure?
I'm not sure because these people are acting like they don't know. Like, you know how Jesse says that they have a piece of paper and he said they think they know everything, but he's right. They don't, even though I don't have a piece of paper and I know what I'm talking about. But yeah.
That is wild. You know, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Yeah, it's just crazy to hear that. And it must be so frustrating because you want answers, right? You want answers and you want to hear from the experts or whatever that you want answers. You want to understand what's happening and if there's anything you could do. That must be like a prison. I can't imagine what it is that you're going through in that way.
It is. it's annoying. And then I have a daughter, and then I have to take care of her. And then, I had to drive and everything else. So, yeah, I don't know, but these people are ridiculous.
In what way?
Yeah, well, they don't know if I would say the F word, but I can't say it. But they don't know what they're talking about. Let's put it that way.
And but maybe maybe nobody knows. You know what I'm trying to say is that's also comes from our own error in putting faith in these people, thinking that they should know or would know, when they probably don't know a lot. You know what I'm saying? There's probably a lot
right.
They just have no idea, and they're just kind of trying their best in the dark, like all of us. It's crazy what you're bringing up, though, because I was actually thinking about this today. I was driving and someone almost, not something almost happened, but not really. And I had the thought, all thoughts are lies, that, what if I was paralyzed? I thought about that today. What if that person hit me and was paralyzed and then drove off, and I wouldn't be able to find them? And I was thinking about how frustrating it would be to have to deal with not being able to find this person, because I'd want to know who did it to me and get back at them or something. But it would put me on a journey, and this is such a weird thought to have today. But I was thinking how it would put me on a journey of dealing with myself and dealing with my own frustration and trying to get over that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's crazy, Marty. I wish you well with what you're going through, and I hope this is a moment to see what's, to examine your frustration in yourself, because it sounds so glib what I'm saying. It sounds so glib and empty, but I do mean it in some way. And what I'm saying is that it's just your body, right?
Right.
But that's crazy. I mean, I that's your arm.
It is.
That's crazy. But I do mean that in a sense. In a sense, I do mean that it's a chance to, examine, because it is just your body, and I say that in such an empty way because I have no idea how I'd react if I lost motor control of my body.
I know. But I'll let you know what happens.
Let me know, Marty. Let us know. We're all listening.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and get an MRI, and I'm supposed to get a nerve testing too. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, Marty, can I just? And I don't. This is not medical advice or anything, but I hear about Dr. Dharam Singh. You ever heard of him?
No.
Well, he's in the. I'll type it in the chat. Hake just wrote it in. Maybe something to look into. You never know.
Okay.
Dr.
I appreciate
Dharam
you guys.
Singh. It's a pleasure, Marty. Let us know how it goes.
Yes, sir. Love you all.
Same here.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Moving the wheels, Marty Ubaldo. Always in the chat. Always supportive. Always around. It's a pleasure. Marty and her mother, I believe, too. I could be wrong, so let me just not say. But I wish you well, Marty Ubaldo. Good luck and everything. Truly. Awesome. Okay, let me just welcome Sion. I believe Sion girl, you're on the plane. Thank you for that. You working or are you chilling? Sion, thank you for your first class super chat. Love Soda does not like Jews says Elon building in Orania based AF. Yeah, I'm gonna get into that. Hake says based Elon building in Orania. Or is that how you pronounce that? Orania? Town in South Africa. But he's actually building in America. You guys, I'm talking about he wants to build a city in America. He wants to build his own little city, own little utopia in Texas. Think about that. So the whites, they're building a utopia. They're doing it again. They're doing it again. As they do, they're off to build a utopia. And it's gonna last up until, they let in the PLCs. Hey, look, I'm just looking at history. Look, Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. I'm just looking at what I'm seeing. Okay? Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Hey, thank you for that. Thank you for the super chat. Welcome to your first class seat, sir. Take a seat. Kick back, relax. China has cities for employees too. Is that true? Based America First? Most jump off roofs to escape. Oh, jeez. Get well soon, Marty. Start using your toes, from Karen Williams. Yes, absolutely, Marty. What if I have papers proving I'm not woke? Oh, dang, Sion quit. Okay. Hey, look, you're still welcome to kick back and relax, Sion. Always a pleasure to have you here. Okay, we are flying up in the clouds. Absolutely. Up. On our way to Mexico. Hopefully. I think so. At least we're on our way to get tummy tucks in our hearts, if it doesn't work here in the flight. Should anything happen, we got the clones. Don't worry, everybody. Okay, so back to what I'm talking about here. They're building freedom cities, okay? The whites are back, and they're building utopias. And let me just, I guess, open up with this one. I'll talk about Trump after. Elon Musk planning a Texas utopia, his own town. Entrepreneurs laying plans for a new community outside of Austin, next to boring and SpaceX facilities, dubbed Snailbrook. Elon Musk is planning to build his own town, and he's been meeting with landowners, real estate agents. Now, it looks like it'll be for employees, but I doubt there'll be a lot of crime in this area. You know what I mean? I doubt it'll be crime-ridden. You know what I'm saying? Like, homeless laden. Is that a fair... Can I use... is that how you use English? Homeless laden? Is that proper English? Please don't have literacy tests and English tests to get in here, sir. Too busy working, no crime. But yeah, some boring employees, including da-da-da. Pretty interesting. Mr. Musk is going to make it happen, okay? As he does. As he does. A builder of things. Now, is it true that he's building in Orania as well? How do you pronounce that? Orania, town in South Africa. We're doing a little bit of live research here. Well, that's how you spell that. Doing some live research here. Pardon the interlude. Orania, Elon Musk. Is it true that he's building over there? I don't see anything about that.
PronounceNames.com.
Urania.
Urania. Oh, okay.
Urania.
Based Elon Musk. Gotta love it. But also, you may have heard of this. Trump. Donald Trump. CPAC happened this past weekend. CPAC. We got fake conservatives, right? We love them though. We got the GOP, the Democrats, in an unholy union, right? We gotta take him down. We got Trump CPAC happen, and he did these Forbes videos putting forth a lot of his policy ideas and really kind of like thinking of America as it's going on now and what he plans for in the future and of his presidential run. And he believes that I truly believe he will be president again. I believe. Well, I don't know what'll happen, right? Whatever the future brings. But he's definitely putting in his bid for it. And he's got quite an interesting and radical, what some might call radical. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Radical, kind of a bold plan for the future. And it's pretty amazing, in my opinion. Oh, I got you, Hake. He's building our Urania. Elon Musk is building Hake's, the whites, Urania in Texas. Let's go, Elon Musk. Homeless ridden. Thank you for the English lesson. Jeez, anchor baby. Look. But anyways, Trump, bold plan. I thought it was truly bold. And he's planning on building at least either building or at least, building policy that will allow for the building of new cities with tax breaks or incentives for making babies and a promise of owning land and having your family, making it easy, giving a chance to younger people. Think about that. It's pretty bold, but when you really think about it, it's quite possible. Not only is it quite possible, it would be huge. In my opinion, it's everything, in my opinion. So Trump he's serious about making changes. He's serious about it. He wants to fight equity, dismantle equity. And you heard about equity. And you heard about it so much that you might get tired of it, okay? It's the same way we get tired of, some people get tired. I know some dissenters, what would you call it? The dissident right, they get maybe tired of hearing boomer conservative points like liberty and stuff. But a lot of those things are still true. In the same way, fighting equity is still, I think, tantamount. Tantamount to what? It's important, okay? Really, really important. And necessary, because it's like we have two paths before us. Or are you going to go down the equity road where you steal from some to give to the undeserved, where you destroy America and build it in your own image? It's like transgenderism, right? Like, are you going to go with reality or not? And so he's serious about dismantling this.
Sinister executive order mandating.
This is executive orders coming down from the Biden administration saying it's time for equity or whatever. Let me see if I can even find that, just to report on this better. Executive orders on advancing racial equity and support for undeserved communities. We're talking South Africa style discrimination, apartheid, I think it's pronounced. We're talking Hutu radio at the time in I believe it was Rwanda. The Hutus were pushing propaganda on the radio, I forget who they disliked. The people, the ethnic group that they disliked, I forget their name, but the Hutus in Rwanda, before the genocide came all the radio and propaganda on radio. Sound a lot like what's going on now. Well, Trump is serious about it.
Federal department and agency establish a Marxist equity. This is something new. Enforcement squad to implement a woke takeover of the entire federal government. Every institution in America is under attack from this Marxist concept of equity. Instead of treating everyone equally, making decisions based on merit or qualifications, equity means that benefits are awarded and policies are enforced based on skin color and sexual identity. We don't think that's a good idea.
No, we don't.
It's a catch-all term used by the radical.
Wild. And here's what I saw here. This is the bold plan for freedom cities. Take this in. Trump, Make America Great Again 2024, quantum leap in the American standard of living. And I'll play a little bit of this, see if we can get the whole gist. Try not to harp on this too much.
Generations of Americans pursued big dreams and daring projects that once seemed absolutely impossible. They pushed across an unsettled continent and built new cities in the wild frontier. They transformed American life with the interstate highway system. Magnificent it was. And they launched a vast network of satellites into orbit all around the earth. But today, our country has lost its boldness. Under my leadership, we will get it back in a very big way. If you look at just 3 years ago, what we were doing was unthinkable. How good it was, how great it was for our country. Our objective will be a quantum leap in the American standard of living. That's what will happen. Here are just a few of the ways we can do it. Almost 1/3 of the landmass of the United States is owned by the federal government. with just a very, very small portion of that land, just a fraction, 0.5%. Would you believe that? We should hold a contest to charter up to 10 new cities and award them to the best proposals for development. In other words, we'll actually build new cities in our country again. These freedom cities will reopen the frontier, reignite American imagination, and give hundreds of thousands of young people and other people, all hardworking families, a new shot at home ownership and, in fact, the American dream. Another big opportunity is in transportation.
I think it's significant. I think it's not just, I don't think it's crazy. I think it's possible. We're talking baby boom. We're talking like, I don't think it's that crazy. Now we'll see what happens, of course. A lot of forces are working against the good, anything, well, you know, what we might call good. But I think it's nothing, you know, people aren't talking like this. Boldly talking about globalism, and when he meant to, you know, he was asked about anti-Semitism, he responded with pure love. He responded with love to what, you know, he called them radicals. I forget exactly, but he said, but they love America. He talked about the truth about Nord Stream, you know, that World War III is coming. He demanded recently Zuckerberg should be prosecuted for violating election laws and stuff. Like that is still like a problem. And that's not, I'm not talking about 2020 election, but in general, that's kind of been going on. And how can we have a country like, and so bold, awesome thing. It kind of, you see the man's vision, and I think it's quite fascinating. So are the whites out here building utopias? Like, holy, is it going down? Because look at what we're dealing with. Look at what we're dealing with.
Money, reparation, capital, money, reparations. That will stimulate this economy for the 2.6 million blacks in California. There's only one thing that would stop our children from busting into these liquor stores. There's only one thing that would stop our kids from busting into these jewelry stores, stealing watches and jewelry. And that's reparations, capital.
Wow. So only one thing's going to stop all this. I don't know if that's a threat or he's admitting that, or what's he, I don't know if it's a threat. If you don't give us the money, we're going to destroy everything. Or if he's admitting that these people can't, he's talking about black people, can't control themselves. So you got to give them something. I don't know if that's out of fear or if out of anger. It's all the same, right? It's all anger. I don't know if that guy's Samuel L. Jackson and Django saying, "Hey, these people, they're not gonna stop until we give them something," or if he's Django out there saying, "We're gonna do this, so you better give it to us." It's extortion. Wild. But hey, this is how people think. Some people, right? I can't really be sure. I don't want to sit here with a confirmation bias and say how many people, but it does seem like a lot, if not all, but most. You know what I'm saying? Because there's many who seem sensible, right? In my personal life, this is anecdotal, but they're sensible, you know, black people. They seem sensible. They don't agree with crime. They don't want a lot of the stuff that's going on, all the woke stuff, but they'll think it's reparations is that they'll think reparations make sense, or they'll believe in racism. You're like off the deep end radical if you believe in racism, right? Like that's not just like it's just a little disagreement. No. You're like gone. People say, "Oh, you're radical, right?" Oh, I'm sorry, that's as radical as it gets. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I did miss a call there. My apologies. I got a nice snazzy upgrade to the calls coming, and I appreciate the patience. I'm growing nickstream. I'm putting your support to work. I'm going to be having a snazzy new camera and a snazzy new phone system where I'm going to have multiple lines. And I'll be able to deal with the calls in a better way. Isn't that nice? But your support is always appreciated on nickstream. It's been fun. Gonna be coming at you 5 days soon. Doing what I do, right? I've been kind of racking my brain like, oh, I should do it in the studio. And I should do it like this. Why am I trying to be someone else? Let me just do nickstream 5 days a week. Plus, I got something in the works that I can't wait to drop. I won't say more. Snazzy. Did I say that a lot? All right, y'all. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little break. I need the AC. I'm starting to sweat. I'm going to need a little breaky poo. Going to take a little break. Be right back for more stories, your calls, and more nickstream. So thanks again. Be right back. What's up? What's up? Okay. Got the AC running. Still flying to Mexico. I don't know if we're going to land. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Because all I see is water beneath us. That's not good. Should be water under us. Looks nice though. Looks nice, right? Chill. Welcome to Chill Stream. Okay. Streaming from an aircraft in flight. Is that not dangerous? Maybe a little bit. Some might say running a show while trying to fly might be a little dangerous. But it's danger zone sometimes on Nick Stream. Oh, the drummer going nuts. Let's turn that down a bit. Drummer going crazy. Mikio Masuda, little Japanese take on Take 5. Any jazz heads out there? If we're flying to Mexico, you should be rounding up some to send back, Nick. Oh, don't worry. You may have noticed that there's a section of the plane that's barred off. We have some people with guns. We have Salvadorian police with guns in the back. You may have noticed. You may have been freaked out a little bit. I haven't seen anybody comment on it, but whole section of the plane has been cordoned off. You may have seen a bunch of tattooed Mexicans. If you caught a glimpse while going to the bathroom, you know, face down, all chained up. And you may have seen a couple of Salvadorian officers with guns. Don't worry, they're there for our protection and to keep them in line. We're taking a bunch out of America, okay? We're going to be doing... anytime we fly internationally, we're going to cart some of these people out, okay? The Section 8 of the plane. What's up, Uriel Apopis? Very nice. What's up? What's up? What's everybody saying here? What the... People are saying, what the... Okay. Nick sweating like he tried Hillary's hot sauce. I got a couple of first class super chats here already. Thank you. Thanks for the support as always. Alicia Froman, please come on down and sit down in your first class seat. Says, with her first class super chat, says, great intermission music. Thank you. Try to keep it varied, right? It's kind of a jazzy day today. Love soda, does not like juice. Does not like the juice. Says, I designed a city for Elon employees called Copper Canyon outside of Sparks, Nevada. Nevada? Oh no. Someone's going to correct me. Never took off as far as I know. Evgeny Crosby with a first class super chat. Is this your first class ticket as well? Please, sir. Sit in your seat. Comfy and all yours. Kick back and relax. With the first class super chat says, take my money before Silicon Valley banks shut down my account. It's getting crazy with the financial stuff, don't you think? Makes you think if you should start putting money away under a sofa, a mattress. But hey, we're not in control. We're not in control, so no big deal. Tamales are off the chain. I love... Oh. Very cool. Again, thank you all for being here. And thank you for the support. Let's get into this next topic here. What should I do here? We got some mess going on with men, women, sexual immorality, the fight, the rift, in my time, at least, growing up, and in my lifetime, is worse than ever. And it just seems wild, right? It seems crazy. The enmity between man and woman. Some might say this is how it's always been since the beginning of time, right? Whoa, a little loud there. My apologies. You know, some might say it's been like this. Adam and Eve, right? But in my time, it's gotten crazy. It's gotten worse. Hold on, I'm kind of uncomfortable here. Let me move around. Okay. Oh, what do you mean top chat? Should I top chat over live chat? Anyways, I'll do that later. Okay. How do I want to do this? Did you see this? You guys know who Emilia Clarke is? Emilia Clarke. Where's she from? British actress. She played that lady on Game of Thrones, Daenerys Targaryen. Okay. Emilia Clarke there was some news about her. Because she posted a natural selfie, okay? Here's for this little article. So she posted a natural selfie of her. Here's her on the left, and here on the right is her natural selfie. Natural. Is that natural? Is she still kind of wearing some makeup? I hear that a lot. I see girls, they'll post selfies, be like, oh, I'm natural, no makeup, but I still see a little bit of makeup. I think natural doesn't quite exactly mean, not always at least, mean no makeup. It just means like toned down makeup and more natural colors, but it's still makeup. Am I wrong about that? But anyway, she posted this selfie, and there's a bad word on the mug. There's a cuss word on the mug there. But there are users, and the feminists and the people decrying the misogyny of these users who dared to say that she hit the wall. You heard that phrase before? Hitting the wall. It's some circles call it a Nazi alt-right term, but it's like a 𝒔𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎, men going their own way, red pill, at least, at most, maybe at least anti-feminist phrase of, saying, it means basically that women, they will enjoy many years of looking young and pretty until they suddenly hit a wall at around 30 or something. They hit a wall, they call it, where they suddenly get old and ugly, and their use or their worth and their value is gone. Suddenly gone at when they hit that wall, and they hit that wall hard. Hey, people get old, right? And it's a mess. Okay, did she hit the wall though? Is that the wall? I mean, she looks fine. She looks fine, in my opinion. And so I thought about a couple things here. Thinking about the wall. It might be somewhat true. And I can understand what some people are saying about the wall, right? And tell me if I'm wrong here, but my understanding is that people say that it's time to shame women out of all this ego because they're really into their looks. They're really into how good they look, and they use it for personal gain and to control men. And I believe and tell me if I'm wrong, the thinking behind the wall is that men are working on themselves, building a estate, building wealth, and so they're working on themselves, doing their thing. Meanwhile, girls, they're just being slutting around, doing this and that until along the way, when they hit the wall, they're like, oh, I gotta settle down. And so they get with a guy, and they enjoy the fruits of their wealth that they built. Then they get married and they have kids after living their life of free sex and being sluts or whatever. And so I can understand the thinking a little bit. I guess it's a way of shaming and bringing light to this. I think it might happen. I think, people are moral. And so these girls are out there and they're doing what they want. And then they get to enjoy the fruits of what the man built. But what are they bringing to the table? And a bunch of stuff. I hear a lot of stuff about it. I can sort of understand it. But it kind of misses the point, right? Kind of misses the point on how moral everybody is. And I think this wall talk, as fun as it might be, is adding to the fire, okay? They waste their prime trying to find themselves, says Willie Powell, but And I think that's true in a lot of cases, probably. But then you got all the guys, I think, that are out here calling out women for hitting the wall, when they themselves, they got their own issues. They're not these wealth builders, I don't think. A lot of them are young still. Some of them are millennials, still lost. So, it kind of misses the point. It misses any real strength or authority. I'm getting this impression, okay? Because these MGTOW guys, they've decided to go their own way. And in a sense, I see it as kind of like a fear of women and dealing with them. I'm not saying you have to go out and get married, but on a macro sense, we're not dealing with women in the right way. Birth rates are down. They're in control. They're framing the whole relationship. They're framing all of it. And we're seeing that with their loss of their control, their descent into immorality, following the guys in many ways. You could say that they're following the men into this descent. Right? Because it was the player red pill stuff. And then it was women saying, okay, but how come you could call us sluts? We should be allowed to do the same thing. So they went down that way instead of coming out the other way and saying, you know what, we're not going to go down to that level. And they got their own problems. But I'm talking about this wall hitting and sex and that kind of stuff. So it kind of misses the point a little bit, in my opinion. Based America First. If you look at birth rates, one big drop in 1960, birth control, and another in 2000, social media. Yes, and I'm going to get into that. Social media. I mean, I don't think she hit the wall here, whatever. And so I've seen some posts of hitting the wall. I'm like, oh yeah, they hit the wall. But now it's like, okay, now you guys being ridiculous. Now you guys just hate women. Oh, you're such a simp, Nick. Look, I'm just calling it as I see it. But it's true that girls are out of control. They're like into a lot of stuff and stuff like OnlyFans. Think about that. OnlyFans has made what? Pornography and prostitution in some cases kind of classier. It's made it cooler and more palatable. Oh, I'm not a porn star. Oh, I'm not a prostitute. I do OF. You don't even have to say the full thing. OnlyFans. I do OF.
How much are you railing in on OnlyFans?
Look at this one. TikTok. This woman here talking about how much money she makes on OnlyFans.
So how much are you railing in on OnlyFans?
Drop it.
Come on, drop it.
I made, like the first, so I started May 2021.
Did you do like a hard launch?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep. Until like October, this past October, I would make like 100 to 150K a month. And then I made it a TikTok. So you guys know Anna Paul, obviously.
Yes.
So she made this TikTok of her like filming a day in her life as an OnlyFans creator, and she started it off with like, "So I'm a sex worker," and I was like,
"Sex worker."
Oh, that's like great. Like,
wait, if they bleep it, should I bleep it? They're probably doing it for algorithm stuff. Sorry, YouTube.
Probably it had so many views. I was like, oh my god, I want to do that. So I made like a vlog, and I started it off with that, and I vlogged like me getting ready for my OnlyFans shoot. And it did so fucking well, like in October, this past October. So now it's like 350 a month. It's insane.
Are you serious? What are you?
Is she lying? That's a lot.
What else
do
you
you
do
money.
with all this fucking money?
I just travel.
Cruises.
Yeah, I just.
Cruises are cheap, bro.
Cruises are mad cheap.
Yeah.
And I'll be scrolling down Twitter and reply. OF girls are replying in the replies, and their names will say OF top 1%, top 3%, and everybody's in the. I always see this. I could be wrong, but I see this a lot on Twitter. It seems like everybody is in the top 1, top 3, top 5% of 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 OnlyFans, which, if you don't know, is a website where you can subscribe to these people. And I don't know if it was started off as as an immoral website like this, but it has become, at least it's become this, where users of OnlyFans subscribe to these people, and these people are selling their bodies. They're selling pictures all the way from, you know, racy snaps to full-on pornography. So I don't know how true this all is, what she's saying, but hey, it could be possible. She's at least making bank traveling on this money. But you know, she says she put this up on TikTok, day in the life, and it did so well. And you could say, well, okay, immoral TikTok pushing it. It's a conspiracy of pushing it, and that could be true. These social media companies, they know what hits. They know this. They know car crashes. They know, you know what I'm saying? Like a car, you can't look away from a car crash. They know what gets the clicks. But who's clicking? Drug dealer, drug user phenomenon. You got to blame both. And it kind of falls a little bit more on the drug user. Men are probably her main client. You know what I'm saying? Nick, subscribe to OnlyFans models and talk to them about returning their fathers and forgiving their mothers. I don't know. I don't know if I want to use my money for that. Hey, it might be for a good cause. Maybe we'll do a thing on that. But it's men. It's men who are subscribing to it. And think about this, because I've thought this. I'm like, why would anybody subscribe to this stuff when a lot of this, you know, degenerate sexual material is free online? Think about that. They make it free. They make all that stuff. It's like, why is that free? Why is porn free? You're the product. Okay, maybe you could say it's just ads, Nick. It's just for ads. You know, that's how they make their money. But also, I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Maybe I'm being a conspiracy theorist. But it's like, why do they make that stuff free? So anyways, why are people paying for OF? Because it's not just the porn stuff. It's like a connection, a false connection, but you get to talk to the person. And you know, it's like I think it brings a little bit more light and understanding as to what is going on and why people are doing this. They want love, and it's always false. Every time people are out there looking for love, they find the wrong thing. And as we may have learned examining our own lives, listening to Jesse Lee Peterson, I'm on his network. Shout out JLP Bond. Thank you for the opportunity. What I've learned, callers and everything, you're never going to find it. Love doesn't exist there. It's definitely not in an OF and an OnlyFans girl. But you can start to understand why people do it. You're talking to them. They talk to you. You got your OF girl. It's personal now. You're getting love. Or what you think is love. It'd be funny if it wasn't so sad. You know Gisele Bündchen? How do you say that? Former wife, ex-wife of Tom Brady, the legend, football quarterback. There was a messy divorce that happened recently. And I don't know the details. I don't really want to get into their personal lives too much. But I mean, I just happened upon this stuff. And why is it that these high, what is it? What's the word? High level, what's the word I'm looking for? High profile people in the media, celebrities, if you will, and all that. When they get these divorces, especially if they're messy, it's reportedly, whatever, gossip. It's reported that Gisele was not happy, that there was some bad blood in this divorce. I mean, when is it ever not that way? But why is it that these high profile women, when they get these divorces, they lose control. They go off. She was better off with Tom. Look at her doing these stripper pole stuff. And I know she's a model, right? So she's done other work, even with Tom Brady and before, where she's showing a lot of skin and stuff. So maybe I'm stretching them. This is a stretch. And maybe she's done stuff like this, but I haven't seen it. And right away, it's like, you know what? Divorced? Well, guess what? I'm going on the pole. And I could totally see women, and maybe it's not Gisele, but I can totally see women. You hear about this. They want revenge. And it's like, you know what? I'm gonna live my life, and then they lose control. They get thin. They get thin. They get the glow up. They start looking better and all that. It's like, why weren't you doing that with your man? But they get the glow up. They get thin, and they're like, oh, that's it, new me. And it's pure ego, and it's hatred. It's hatred of the man, resentment. So Giselle, it's like they lose control. What's going on here? So yeah, and they don't seem to get it. The ladies don't seem to get that it's destroying society. Michelle Obama, they don't need us to fix them. Michelle Obama says she's trying to be less critical of daughters Malia and Sasha as she moves from mom-in-chief to advisor-in-chief. You may know the Obamas, the Obama family. These two sisters, they've been in the news for, less than classy stuff. And right on for Michelle Obama saying she doesn't need to fix them. They are 24 and 21. They're too old for you to do, to be doing anything like that, right? Time to get out of their lives. Maybe that's what caused them. Maybe that's what pushed them to be, wild and rebellious in the first place. But we're losing the ladies. The men are simping, or they're being cucked. Even the Mormon ladies. I heard about this. They say the Mormon ladies up in Utah. I heard this a lot from conservatives out here in California. I'm moving to Utah to a conservative stronghold, and I'm going to get away from evil. I'm going to get away from all this. I'm going to live a good Christian life and find me a good Christian Mormon woman. I hear there are a lot of Mormons in Utah, right? Well, it's up there too. The sexual revolution happened. Women got liberated. They call it the sexual revolution, which has been a negative effect on the country. Okay, on male and female relationships, on birth rates, and all that. But they were largely protected up there, the Mormons in Utah. They stayed modest, they stayed married. But it's happening with the young ones up there, These young Mormon ladies, look at them. Look at this collection of Utah Mormons looking all modest. But these same ladies are now, they're getting crazier. This comes from this collection of Zoomer Utah Mormons. They're getting look at this. Boys suck. And now wearing less and less. We're losing it, y'all. And there's no strength in the men. They don't see any trust. I can't see women trusting men. Am I making sense here? And the hatred of men continues with them up there, the Utah Mormons. Look, Utah's declining fertility rate. Look at this. For the first time, Utah families are not having enough babies to replace the population. It mirrors national trends. It had to happen eventually, right? It's just happening later. Sexual revolution, which is such an interesting, what's the word, misnomer or they call it sexual revolution. Free sex means more babies. Nope. No, because the women are in control now. They're framing it. And they reject responsibility. They reject a lot of what you might call good men or whatever, decent men. They reject them for what's fun and wild and interesting and fleeting. And really, ultimately, they hate the men. So how is anything good going to come out of it? How is family building and whatever, what we might call good, come out of it? So, in Trump's freedom cities, we're going to have forced monogamy. We're going to have forced monogamy. Okay, we're going to pick them out for you. Arranged marriages. See, this is what we get. Immoral societies, this is what you get. Either you fall apart or you take drastic measures. Yeah, burkas. It's burka time. Sorry. Okay. Having fun here. What do we got next? Hold on, y'all. I got some super chats. Some first class super chats. Thanks for the support as always. Yes, Gunner says women should obey, no denying that. A man should lead the household. How should a father that has daughters teach them that in 2023? Teach them that, huh? How should a father that has daughters teach them that in 2023? You know, I can't say, not that I don't have children, right? That doesn't mean I can't comment on it. But I've never seen a leader explain it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never seen that effectively. Like, this is what you're going to do and this is why you should do it. How many of us in the chat did not as we were told? I think they just got to see it. They got to see it the way you, primarily how you deal with your wife. And it's hard. I'm hard pressed to find strong men dealing with their wives. You know, hard pressed dealing with their wives correctly. And here's an example too. Because it starts with you. It starts with you. You might think, yeah, Nick's right. I got to lead my household. I'm going to be tough, put my foot down and beat my woman or something. Or maybe not that far. I'm going to do this now, or I'm going to do that. I'm going to say no to her. I'm going to do this or that. Start a little simpler. Start with you. Do you ever get frustrated with her? Does she get on your nerves? That right there is already a way bigger example than what you say. Because first of all, your wife sees that. Your wife sees how you get frustrated with things she says. You may hide it. You may think you're hiding it, but eventually she sees it. And your kids see it too. If you could get over that, get over your little feelings and not get them hurt, that already is a huge example. Because she can be going crazy, the world could be going crazy around you, but you're you. You treat everybody the same with love. And you don't change up because someone's acting different. That is already a huge example. And because your kids, I think, and I don't have kids, but I had this, I think, impression or realization of identity that parents try to make their kids like them. And I understand that. I'm not saying you shouldn't or that's bad or good. But to believe and expect that they'll be like you, I think is crazy, because I'm starting to believe. I think I'm seeing that in myself, and I'm seeing it in others, that people have talents and gifts, and people are personalities, though I think given to them by, I'll say, God, maybe at the you know, I'm risking sounding empty, you know, preacher, oh God, but I think I mean that. They're given personalities, and your kids are going to come out a certain way. Maybe they'll take, if you're a good father and you're strong personality, if you will, you'll impart a lot. It will be impossible not to, but they'll also be like the way they are, one more quiet than the other, for example, or one into different things. And to think and expect that you'll make them a certain way, maybe that's your own problem, your own ego and expectation. But how should a father that has daughters teach them that in 2023? My best answer to that, because from where I'm sitting and where I'm living and what I'm experiencing, is that deal with how are you reacting? I think that's crazy deep. If you could never react, it's over. Mano dura, haha, that works too, I guess. Willie Pal. The heavy hand. Hey. You better not be destroying my children, woman. I'm going to give you one of these. I'm going to give you a Sean Connery. I appreciate Nick's use of the classic 4:3 picture size for his main video. Yeah, you like this? What's up, Uriel? You keep saying Nick. All right, what do we got next? Because I believe we should have landed in Mexico already, or at least we should be close. We're going to pretend, okay? This is a virtual flight after all. Look, I'm trying to run a good show here. I was getting caught up doing the flights. Look. One thing I got to say, guys and ladies, I gotta go back to pilot training. I'll admit it right here. I'm one of those affirmative action pilots you've been hearing about. Send me back to training, y'all. Send me back. I don't want to be like Conrad Aska. You may have heard of that guy. Amazon Airlines pilot, crashed the plane because he would freak out. He would panic and just start pressing buttons. Okay, I'm not a Conrad Aska. I don't just start pressing buttons. But there's a lot I don't know. And as these planes keep getting updated and getting more realistic, a lot of these buttons stop working the way I'm used to. And there's just a lot I don't know. Straight up. I'm an affirmative action pilot. Anchor Baby Airlines. So I got to go back to training. We're going to just pretend for this one. This comfy feeling ain't virtual, though. Right on. You guys enjoying your Friday? Hope you are. When you flying to Elon's Urania, Texas? Hey, let's do that one next. Maybe we'll go to South Africa. Maybe we'll do a international flight. We're going to run out of fuel. Yeah, what are we at? No, we got fuel. At least the virtual clouds are nice, right? At least the virtual skyline is nice. On the flat earth or the round earth, whichever one you like, it is virtual. At least that's nice, right? At least we can enjoy this before our eventual demise on today's Nick stream, because I don't see any land before us. There is no land beneath us. That is not a good sign. From California to Mexico, it's all land. Whew. So yeah, Anchor Baby Airlines. I gotta go back to training, y'all. I'm gonna take classes, okay? I'm gonna take classes. I'll come back. We'll do some real, professional landings. Okay. Gonna need a bigger plane. Yeah, we'll fly a bigger plane too. All right, what's next? Here's what's up. We got something else here. We're going to talk about the Jews. Ooh, YouTube, I'm sorry. Talking about the Jews. Jews are not Christians. I've been doing a little reading, doing a little studying, prompted by something I saw online. And I'm like, wait a second. I'm a little interested. Let me find out if this is real. This is true. Because, a lot of talk about the transgender stuff and sexual immorality in the country. And there's people blaming and people maybe not blaming and just spitting facts. Maybe in some cases, I think in many cases, blaming that the Jews or Jewish people, I think if I say Jews and I say something mean, that's already automatically anti-Semitic. It's already bad. You can't call them that. So Jewish people, their beliefs, really. I'm talking about beliefs here. I'm talking about the way people are raised. Okay, because that's significant. And people, different religions, different peoples are raised differently. Anyways, let me not get too much because we just get into what I'm talking about here. I came across some gender ideology stuff in the Talmud. You may have heard of the Talmud, okay? Because from what I could tell, this is layman. I don't know for sure. I'm a layman, just kind of reading up on stuff I see. You know how history is. You know how knowledge is. There's deceptions abound, and there's all that. Okay, so that's where it's coming from. But you may know about the Talmud, okay? And the Jewish people, as far as I know, follow, at least a large amount of them, follow something called the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible. But it's a little bit different for the Jews. They call it the Mishnah, okay? And it's the oral tradition, the oral Torah passed down, okay? I don't know if it got written. You know, the oral Torah got written down and now it's the Mishnah. I'm not entirely sure. But that's what's going on, right? And so they got that. But it's not just the Torah, okay? It's not, which is in the Bible, the first 5 books of the Bible, right? It's not just that. There's some more that happened in history along the way, okay? It's called the Talmud. And the Talmud is an elucidation of the Torah, okay? They expanded on it, explained it, and gave it, maybe some say they wrote it in their own image. These rabbis, this Jews or whatever, they see the Talmud as over the Mishnah or the Torah in many ways because it's elucidated. They explained it out. And I don't think the Jews, I could be wrong, but I don't think the Jews are the only ones, right? Didn't the Muslims do this? There's the Quran, and then it was like, what's that guy's name? Muhammad's elucidation of the Quran. And they have their own book, which has their own problems because now you got a game of broken telephone going down and people's agendas and desires now playing on it in lost in translation, if you're following me here. So the Talmud, there's some mess about gender ideology, if you will, in there. Okay? Which I thought was somewhat interesting. And they're talking about, I had it right here, hold on. Let me pull it up, y'all. Because we're dealing with this gender stuff. This is like ideology that men can be women, women can be men. And it's pretty wild. Hold on. Where did it go? Gender diversity. Here, check it out. Jewish sacred texts offer words. Look, they basically, to distill what I found, it seems like these Talmudic texts talk about, for example, intersex stuff. And they called it, I had the name for it here, but it's all gone. Mossad went into my Google Docs and deleted it. But I found that the Talmud, which is very old, has words for basically what you call intersex, what you call non-binary today. Ooh, I need more AC. I'm sweating. And that kind of stuff. And I realized, and I think right away you want to say, wow, these Talmudic Jews, evil. They're like, and it is, you could call it evil, you could call it not Christian. And I realized that, what we're seeing today is not new. It's actually very, very old. Satan is very, very old, very wise, knows a lot of things, thousands and thousands of years old. This spirit is, and it's very deceptive and smart spirit. And so words we have today, like non-binary and stuff like that, existed back then. You got to think the Hebrews, the Jewish people, they're very old. Okay. So, and I wish I had the exact words for you so you can maybe look it up yourself. It's just an old thing is all. And I realized there's only two kind of like states. It's not all these different religions. It's not like all these different peoples. It's not that. It's not men and women. It's not all that. It's like, are you a beast or are you enlightened? Are you an animal or not? Or are you risen above? And all these cults are beastly worship. Today's modern American Christians even use these beastly cult words like non-binary and all that. Modern expert words. They've been around forever though. So it's not just Jewish per se, but hey, it is somewhat Jewish apparently from what I'm seeing. It's not Christian at least. Because it's more than just Jewish pushing it, right? And this is just what I found, okay? This is just what I found. So it's just that they're old and Satan's deception has been around for a long time. and it's been deceiving forever. So you got to understand that and I'm starting to, this is just my head canon, if you will. My head canon. My head interpretation. It's like these people, Hebrews, Jews, have been around for a long time. And you got to understand that they didn't have Christ. They didn't have enlightenment. I read about the Pharisees in the book, for example, and how lost they were. They had all the right words, but they were spiritually lost. They couldn't understand the parables. They couldn't understand the truth. And they got into rituals. You think about today, a lot of rituals today, Catholics or Christians, you know, there's plenty to go around. Enough of that, you know, I'm like qualifying what I'm saying. You don't understand what I'm saying. You understand I'm not being hateful. No need to continue with that. So the point I'm making, though, it's like, you got to understand that it's like the Pharisees. I read about the Pharisees and how lost they were, and they had the words and the rituals. And you realize, and they had the child sacrifice, or they had like sacrifice and weird sacrifice to the animals. You hear about Moses getting the 10 Commandments and coming back down, and then he finds the people worshiping what was it? Someone knows better than me. Worshiping like a golden calf statue or something like that, right? More animalistic, culty behavior. And you start understanding that Christianity is more than these words, this book, this ritual, getting baptized, going and saying the right stuff and going to the right building. But it is either you're an animal or not. And that's how I see Christianity. It's an enlightening and a bringing out of that animal state. It's for all people. And it's available at all times for all people. I think that's kind of interesting, kind of deep. Jews are not Christian. And we see that in voting patterns, for example, and other things, you know. Just something I read, you know. I'm just kind of riffing here. Maybe you find this interesting. I found this kind of interesting. We got like 5 minutes of fuel left. We'll find out which religion was right when we crash. Whatever. Yeah, guys, all I see is pure water beneath us. Look at that virtual sunset, though. You gotta love it. Okay. What's going on here? Man, thanks for all the support. The support is amazing. Let's see what chat is saying, y'all. Pay attention to flying. No, Kara Williams, I'm telling you, I've relegated us to a crash. There's no fixing this. I don't think there's any fixing this. Everything is fake. Ask me, what's my point? I guess my point is just that Jews are not Christian. That's all. I'll continue my seeking and open-mindedness and see what else I learn. See if you find it interesting. But think about that. The Talmud, look, Anna says the Talmud did not exist before they crucified Christ. It was written to excuse everything about sin. I think it's interesting. You know, the Muslims did it. I think the Catholics did it, or the Christians did it. They pervert and dilute the truth. We do that today. We do that today in this country. Interesting stuff. Yes, I'm an affirmative action pilot. Yeah, I'm not saying at any point, really, I guess. Differences are real, I guess. But it doesn't excuse. I'm not excusing anything or saying, you know, I think about Christians. As weak as they get. They got the same issues, really. But I think this is kind of a better understanding of what's going on. Okay. Hope you're enjoying Nick's stream so far. I think we're getting to the end here. Because I think I'm going to save a lot of this for another stream or something. I got random stuff here that I could get to. But hey, I think we could leave it for another time. What are y'all saying here in the chat? What type of graphics card are you running? I got a 3090. It's actually a NVIDIA 3090, a Founders Edition. If you want to know what kind of gear I'm running, Founders Edition 3090. Hey, I was doing some of that. Hey, maybe you guys are gonna get mad at me, but I was doing some buying and selling of graphics cards, especially when it was way hotter. Maybe I had some bots. Hey, look, it's a messed up world. You can say, oh, you're just an opportunist and making supply issues worse. Look, it's a evil world. You gotta get your bag. Build, stack it up and build, because they're not gonna care about you. The world is getting crazy. Protect yourself and then use the sinner's money and make it, and maybe do some good. But yeah, I was buying and selling graphics cards, PS5s, and doing that kind of, doing that kind of stuff. Hey, look, you got to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? I kind of started late. Nick spent the whole bond building fund on his graphics. No, the building's fund is untouched. Hasn't been touched. But I gotta get the bag, and I started a little late. I didn't live a life of I wasn't raised right, and I wasn't doing illegal stuff. Jib-jab. It was when the PS5s and the graphics cards were hard to get because of supply issues, all the people, the hustlers, they got bots, and they botted the websites to be first in line, if you will. Okay, anyways. What else are y'all saying here? We got, man, Phil Star with the first class super chat. Please, sir, sit in your first class seat before our eventual demise, which is soon coming, I believe. Phil Star says, hey, Nick, heard the Brazil Satan parade thing. The guy who was mocking Jesus died in a car crash 3 days later, and they are getting flooded now with spirits flying around. Oh, what are you talking about, Phil Star? Was it like a previous caller I had? Brazil Satan parade. Let's see what's going on here. See if we can do some Googling. You don't do your Googles? 4 days ago, a demonic parade in Brazil. They worship Satan in front of it. Oh, look at this. The first video that popped up was the most recent Fallen State guest. Did you guys check out the Fallen State? Jesse's recent Fallen State episode? He was interviewing this guy, Daniel Adams, the Supernatural Life. And so the first thing, I'm searching up what Phil Star's talking about. The first video that came up is his. Isn't that a little bout of serendipity? Am I using English correctly there? But yeah, Daniel Adams was on the Fallen State. Check out that episode when you guys get a chance. It's pretty good. But what happened in, let's do a little news here. Phil Star talking about some news here. Thank you for check it out. Brazil's glitzy carnival. Okay. Outrageous costumes. But are they going to talk about Satan in this article? Because apparently it's satanic, according to some.
What's up, Supernatural Life? I was scrolling TikTok the other day, and I usually scroll.
Hey, caller, I'll be right with you.
See what's going on. My TikTok feed is actually pretty healthy. It doesn't have a lot of bad stuff.
Caller, just hold on. I'm just 1 minute. I'll be right with you.
On it, because I've learned how to, make all the great things that are happening, the movies that have come to bring the worship of Satan on the scene. And the battle's not flesh and blood. We know that in Ephesians 6. It's not against flesh and blood. It's against wicked spirits in high places, all right, in the spirit realm. And it's just it's
so they had a parade. They had a parade, a carnival in Brazil. Okay.
It's
they were celebrating Satan. Oh, here he's got some footage. Thank you, Daniel Adams. I'm going to steal your content. Appreciate it, sir.
In Jesus' name. All right, let me go over here, guys, and
get boosted in Jesus' name.
Let's look at this this video.
Snazzy little.
All right, let's check this
stinger.
out. Let's dissect this. I don't want to take a super long time on this, but I just wanted to show you guys this because this is ridiculous. I can't even. You know that the presidency just changed. I think it's the president. Yeah, the president just changed. It went from Bolsonaro to this Lula guy, and
oh yeah.
If I get into the politics of everything, and I don't want to, you could see why this is going on. Bolsonaro, I think that's how you say his name. Forgive me if I'm saved. I believe through a big Christian event. I don't want to go into too big detail in that because I don't want to get no details wrong. But he did get saved in an event not too far back. So he was very much for Jesus Christ. But we know there's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of mess going on. But I'm not going to get into all that. You can research that and figure out all that mess for yourself. But there's a new one in office, and I can see why this stuff's going on. You know, from the top down, right? Whoever's leading is what's going to flow in. And we can see in these countries across the world, even America, while all this mess is going on. But let's look at this video really fast. I turned the sound off for reasons, but just because I don't want to get a strike or a copyright thing or anything.
Thank you, Daniel Adams. Don't want to get a strike.
I'm going to play it. So this is terrible right here off the rip. Let me go back. It's terrible off the rip. You know what this is?
Okay, so
that's Jesus.
Let me give him my own commentary, I guess. I mean, he's not playing the video. What a mess. Well, thanks, Phil Starr. Kind of interesting. So they're worshiping Satan and getting what they deserve? Is that what's going on? See if he plays a little bit more of the video. Okay, yeah, he's got some satanic looking stuff there. These Latin countries with some stuff with their weird, they got some satanic stuff going on. Okay, caller, let me get right to you. Caller, you're on the air. Your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Artie Art, baby.
What's up, Art? Welcome to nickstream. Pleasure.
So, hey, check this out. So, what was they saying about the little parade in Brazil? What's going on with that?
I actually don't know much about it. Someone just super chatted about it, and I was kind of trying to Google a little bit about it here for the stream. You know anything about it?
No, that was the first time I heard about it, but I thought it was awfully funny that I was calling in and I caught you was talking about that, and I called in last week about the 85 people that died in a little train crash over there, and then you talking about this little parade or whatnot that's going on now.
That's what I was thinking of. That's what Phil Starr reminded me of. I was thinking about your call, Art.
Yeah, with the 85 people that died on the train.
Yeah, totally. That's what I was thinking.
And they came from a parade where they was allegedly so-called worshiping Day of the Dead, worshiping Satan.
Now, do you believe God smites people or strikes evil people down?
Well, it's along the lines of following the commandments, and then when you do entertain and participate with stuff like that, you open it's like a Ouija board and doing like tarot card readings, you open up a different realm, and that's what they doing with the CERN or whatnot. They trying to play God, and they're opening up different dimensions, basically trying to. You got some of them, they trying to fight their way. It's basically like the fallen angels trying to fight their way back into heaven. They trying to figure out a way to try to get back into heaven. There's a whole bunch of other stories that I can try to tell you about where they trying to manipulate and find ways. Satan is trying to because you got to remember that God kicked Satan out of heaven or whatnot, but Satan's trying to use technology down here on earth to try to find his way, to try to trick his way to get back into heaven, basically through the back door or something like that. But when you do what they're doing, celebrating these days of the dead, or you lowering your vibration to where you opening up realms to where the devil can find a way to jump into your soul and into your spirit. That's where the exorcists and stuff come in. A lot of those people that be having exorcists done to them, they be practicing little stuff like that, and it opens up, it lets the demons come into them.
Interesting. You know, I do think we bring about a lot of issues on ourselves. So it doesn't sound like you think you're making a comment on whether God would do that to us. I personally don't know either. I mean,
no, it ain't. It's not that he's doing it.
Right.
It ain't. He's telling you what you don't need to do, so you can make sure you keep Satan from jumping into your body. It ain't about what he's doing. I mean, just like he gives you the choice to choose whether you want to worship God or you want to worship the devil. If you want to go to heaven or you want to go to hell, he's like, okay, you do whatever you want to do. I'm just telling you, if you don't stop at this red light, you're going to go in the intersection and crash. It ain't got nothing to do with him. If you want to play with the devil and let him come into you, then that's just what's going to happen. He's just letting you know what's going to happen if you do. And a lot of people, what it is you got a lot of people that don't understand it, and they think that it's a game. And they like, oh, it's this, he's schizophrenic or something like that, or da-da-da. And I'll give you another example. When I used to listen to little rap music or whatnot, I had little stuff going on in the street. That was my little theme music. So I'd be getting hyped up, and I realized looking back at it now that when I would be listening to that rap music and this spirits into the rap music, it's telling you to do stuff, but it's the devil really talking to you. I'm not saying the artist is a devil. It's the frequency in the music and in the certain chants and the stuff that they're saying, it invites spirits into you. So even with stuff like that, it can be.
Sorry, go ahead.
You good. Even with stuff like that, it's inviting spirits into you. But if you don't understand what's going on, like prime example, when a lot of people is going to do these drive-bys, or they selling drugs, or they getting into a lot of these incidents, what do you think they listen to? You thinking they listening to what?
And I heard they get high too. I've seen that in movies, and I've read that they like, well, I'm about to go commit a crime or kill someone. I'm gonna get high.
Yeah. It's lowering your vibrations to let the spirits come in. They're not listening to no Joe Osteen. And I'm not saying he's, you know what I mean? I'm not saying, now don't get it wrong.
Maybe some are.
Yeah. They ain't listening to no Joe Osteen about to go do a drive-by on Ronnie Ron, Pookie Poo, and Loopy Doob, and Art from Philadelphia. No, they ain't going to do no. And they smoking, and they, it's lowering their vibration to where spirits can come in to that's what they say in the Bible, or not, I don't know if they say it in the Bible, but that's how the devil do. He tricks you into doing something, and then after that you do it, he's sitting back and laughing at you.
I can understand what you're saying, and you make a lot of sense. You're making me think about all the times music has affected me, and I get sad or happy because of music. Mm-hmm. In fact, I remember this one time, it was this girl. It's always over a girl, huh? And I was working at this one place, and there was this girl, and there was no reason for me to feel this way. We had no history. She wasn't that special or that important to me, but it was just perfect timing where something went a little wrong, and we weren't, something kind of went a little wrong, and the perfect song played. And I remember feeling like everything came on me, like it was the worst. Oh my gosh, she was the best thing ever. I can't believe I'm about to blow it. But it didn't make any logical sense if you knew the details, because you know what I'm saying? Like it didn't make sense. Like, why over this girl? And so it really is a possession. It's a possession.
Yeah. And if some movies do it too. It ain't just music; it's movies or whatnot. People, you think about, people see stuff on some movies, and they like, oh, if I try to kill them like this or whatnot, I can get away with it. You see what I'm saying? But it gives you an illusion, and the devil comes through in frequency of music, beats. And you gotta understand, our bloodstream in our body, it has frequencies and stuff. You know what I mean? So all that, frequencies, all that, for sure. Hell yeah. And then there was something else I was about to say. What else you think about? What you think, so I can ask me something so I can give you something else?
No, I'm just thinking. Real Mr. Matt in the chat says you should only listen to heavy metal, and it makes me think about growing up. I was listening. I got into lots of different kinds of music, but there was a time when I was into like metal and heavy metal, what you might call actually death metal and stuff, where they're like screaming and the drums is going crazy, right? But and I remember I'd play it, and my mom, she'd be like, "That's crazy. That's devil music." She'd say, "That's devil music, and it's making you violent." And I was the most relaxed. I was definitely not wanting to kill anybody, and I would think, "Oh, that's so lame. What are you saying? I'm just listening for the music." And then I started listening to other stuff like rap or whatever, and they'd say, "Wow, those are horrible lyrics. That's about killing and stuff." Or I would listen to sad stuff too. I would listen to, like, there was a time when I was like into emo and stuff like that, and I'd be like, "No, I'm just into it. I'm not like them. I'm just into it for the beat, or I'm just into it for the song." But looking back, I was just like the music. I would say to myself, it's funny how you could say to yourself, this is not going to affect me, yet it's still affecting you. I would say to myself, I'm not going to let it affect me. But I became emotional, or maybe I always was, but I became emotional and weak to women, just like all the emo songs would sing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'd be like, no, that's not me. And yet I was, if I really examined myself.
Yeah, and even if it's not the music, you got to look at the artwork on it too, because a lot of the artwork be having satanic stuff into it or whatnot, and they be praying over the CDs or whatnot, over pentagrams and stuff like that, praying to the devil or whatnot, and they put a spell over it before it. That's why they saying it's devil music. Yeah, because they already put the spell. And if you notice, why you think some artists go platinum or sell a whole bunch of albums and some don't? Because the ones that don't sell all them albums, they didn't have the recipe, meaning didn't nobody probably more than likely pray over to the devil, pray over and basically get them sign in with the devil on whoever's I'm talking about that didn't sell all them albums. They didn't pray or they didn't sell their soul. The ones who's selling all them albums and stuff like that, the album's been prayed over and it's got certain subliminal words in there praying to the devil, or it's they casted a spell over. Those are the ones that's going platinum. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I'll give you one more example. It was, I forgot what artwork it was. I was looking, I seen something on YouTube a little bit ago. Tupac had an album cover that had some Illuminati / satanic stuff into it, and come to find out from what they were saying, Tupac didn't even know that he didn't have nothing to do with that cover or the artwork that was put on that cover. It's basically what they were saying is it was somebody else, like somebody else has created control over the artwork. He didn't have no control over it. And basically when it came out, he couldn't just be like, hey, take that off or whatnot. I don't want that artwork on. He, you know, he's drinking, smoking. He's in the street, running streets.
He signed to the label, sold away his rights or whatever.
Yeah, so just how you just saying, you look back on how you was listening to the music and now you sit back and now you look at it. You got to remember, he was in that same realm too. He wasn't looking at, he's moving so fast and everything's going on around. He's not sitting there like, oh, look, this artwork, it got satanic symbols on it. And he only thinking about, oh, I'm going to sell 400 million or I'm going to sell 4 million. It's going to go diamond. He's not looking at it like how he would probably be looking at it now. But he didn't have no control over that artwork that went on there. It was somebody was in a different, basically a division who basically signed off on the artwork.
Wow. Very interesting, man. Yeah, it makes me think of some of the artists I used to listen to. And looking back, I wonder, it's probably a mixture, but I wonder if some of them knew what they were doing. Like, okay, I know my audience is young people, and I'm going to play on their misery and build it up. And they're getting rich. And I bet you in a lot of cases, they were just, they just were that way. I think about how many emo, that era of music of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Alternative music, but not alternative. I'm thinking of like Midwest emo, that kind of stuff. A lot of those guys got caught with weird sexual immoralities with younger people, and you start realizing that they've just been broken. You know what I'm saying? Like they stayed kids. They stayed kids and they never grew up. They stayed with the same misery and they sang about it and they got some money, but they didn't quite overcome what they were going through, and it came out in the worst way.
Hey Nick, I'm sorry, I gotta disagree. No, I'm thinking they know exactly what they getting into. You got to sign up for that, and the only way you gonna make them big bucks like that, you got to sign up for that, yo. And they knowing and they down with the calls and all that, because just like I said, a lot of that has spells, meaning like they, you know how they say spelling bee or you spell your words. Well, that's basically going back into spells like I cast a spell on you, witchcraft and Satan worship. No, them is words and it's certain words. It was, who is that? Like I don't know if it was Rod Stewart, somebody. It's like a lot of them old schools, like I can't think of what the name was. It's one of them. They got one of these Purple Rain or something. And some of them songs, the name of them is actually spelled.
Prince.
They're
Purple Rain?
I don't know if it's one of them old songs or whatnot. It might have been Van Halen or something like that that has one of them names. I'm gonna have to look it up or something where it's basically singing a song to the devil. And what I'm saying when I say that, you got to sign up and basically you got to have the connection. You got to have the complexion for the connection or whatnot. And I'm not meaning skin complexion. You basically got to be speaking in words for them to basically sign off to cast that spell when it goes to the higher up execs for them to push that music through. You can't just come in there talking no stuff like Artie Art talking. They're like, hey, well, go ahead. This is a new artist. We gonna go ahead and put because Artie Art not talking no spells. Artie Art's not saying what the devil wants to put out in the frequency to the whole world. So I wouldn't sell nothing. I wouldn't sell no whole bunch of copies of nothing. No, they know because you got to understand what you think them when they talking about them. They be having them parties to where they be going in there. It's like all of them be wearing masks and they be going into the little secret rooms allegedly. And
I don't know about all that. I've heard about it, but I just don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I think
people are more dumb than evil, but I don't know. I think people are more.
You think it's more dumb?
Yeah, like they just don't know. They could even be. I thought to myself that there's probably people out there that say, I'm a Satanist and I worship Satan and I'm here to do Satan's bidding, but they don't truly understand the depths of what they're saying. But maybe I'm just, I don't know. I just don't know.
I agree with you. I feel like there's a lot of artists out there. They're in a 5-man group and one person knows what's going on, and maybe the other 4 is not knowing, and then when they realize what's going on, then all of a sudden some of them die off of mysterious ways. Allegedly, it's getting cancer, or it has a plane crash, or happens to die in a hotel or something like that. I feel like they were coming to the light and they was realizing, and the one who sold, the one that was in the group that knew what was going on, it's like, oh, I can't let him break the group up because the person that didn't know, they come into the light and they realize, like, hold up, I've been dancing with the devil the whole time, and it's one of the dudes out of my group, and we've been getting money together all this time. Now you realize, like, hold up, he sold his soul, and I don't want to sell my soul. So I'm agreeing with you. I think some of them is basically what's immature to the fact of what's going on. Just like we were just talking a second ago with the Bible. A lot of people think it's a game until they actually realize it's really the truth. And my thing is this: if you got people that, not to get caught off into the Bible, if you got stuff where they talking about talking about like Noah's Ark and a lot of this old stories where they coming back and saying that they finding archaeological facts that stuff happened, then that's to solidify and let you know that the Bible ain't no game. Like, and if some of the stuff that's coming up out here ain't no game, and if the Bible ain't no game, I'm not telling you to be scared of the devil, but you definitely need to know that God ain't playing, and that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't realize that because they wasn't probably brought up into it though in their whole life.
I'm understanding you. So Steve Strock here with the first class super chat, if I may, says, oh, hold on, let me pull it up. It says, people talk about not having an idea about God or Christ, when I think it's important to not have an idea about Satan because you may miss the depths of his evil if you're not looking for it.
Yeah, I agree with it.
He also says, go ahead.
But he's saying, tell me if I'm correct in what he's saying, because I'm expecting him to shoot you another chat back. Basically, what he's saying that for them not understanding and respecting what God is saying, that they basically don't see the evil that the devil is capable of doing. So they overlook a simple lie on CNN as understanding that that's the devil in them manipulating them to lie to the American citizens. So basically saying that you not able to see how deceiving the devil is through murder, lying, cheating, and stealing.
I think what he's saying is that, it's, simply to not have an idea of it. Because, like, for example, people think they know what the mark of the beast is, or they know what the end times is. But but because they have an idea of it and they think they know, they've already lost. They've already been deceived. And you're missing the depths of it. We're talking about stuff like possession and stuff like that. And you're talking about rich, like occult symbolism and the way people are possessed by opening up portals to hell. But I think that's way more personal than you think, and you probably understand what I'm saying here. But I think more than most people who talk like this think. For example, when you get angry, when you get mad, it's like that is demonic possession, and it's not dressed up with horns. It's not dressed up with symbols. It's not dressed up with portals to hell. It's literally just a person getting mad, and you might think, "Oh, that's just mad," but that speaks more to the Satan's deception. Oh, he's just getting mad. It's actually full on demonic possession. You know what I'm saying?
And real quick though, I agree with you 100%. But what you just said is real as far as you said the anger. And it really took, because I was real bad with the anger thing. And it took for me to actually be listening to Jesse to where I was able to understand, and where, Father God blessed Jesse, and I'm thankful that Father God led me to see and be around and hear Jesse, because I wouldn't have never understood and got what he was meaning when Jesse was saying that if you have anger, you abate it. But just like you just said, if you have anger, that's another way that the devil jumps in and out of your spirit. Just like if you emotional, meaning you, just like you were saying about that girl, it had you in a state to where the devil could have jumped in and out of your body because of the state in the spirit that you were in, because you were maybe lonely or maybe you was mad. But you basically want to stay balanced. You know what I mean?
I'm following you, man. Very interesting, Art.
Yep. Well, go ahead and whatnot. I'm going to fall back and I'm going to sit back here in first class, second class, whatever class.
Thank you, sir.
As long as I'm in one of the classes. I'll catch you later, and we still rolling with Trump.
Always moving the wheels. Thank you, Art, for that call. Let me say here another one from Steve Strock. Thank you for the support. Says what you both are talking about is the difference between the overt and covert Satanism. You don't need to have occult symbols all over to have the devil's poetry in your music. Very true, man. Dean Malkin says at nickstream, give JS Urban Adventures a YouTube welcome. We love JS Urban Adventures. He says if it wasn't for me finding him, you wouldn't have an extra subscriber. Only found about you and Hank through JS. Thank you, Dean, and thank you, JS Urban Adventure, man. Check them out. See what else chat is saying. I wanted to respond to a few things here. As we come to a close, as you can see, the virtual skies at night have gone almost fully dark. The sun is going under the curved or flat horizon. Yeah, spoiler alert. I said a lot of clippable stuff today, didn't I? The devil played for Paganini while he was sleeping, huh? Willie Pal. Some new names, I think. Ascension Trading. That's cool. Welcome. Teddy Patton. That's cool. Awesome stuff, y'all. All right. How are you enjoying yourselves this Friday? Hope you're doing well. Hope you've enjoyed Nick's stream so far. That's all I got, y'all. We're going to come back with more Nick's stream as always. 5 days a week's incoming. I know I keep saying that, but it is coming. 5 days a week is coming. What can I say, y'all? I had fun. I hope you guys enjoyed Nick's stream today. Maybe we could do some glizzy chill stream gaming, Twitch exclusive. Maybe can grow my Twitch channel tomorrow, Saturday. Maybe a Saturday stream. What do you guys say? I'll let you know. I'll tweet about it at Gorgonzola on Twitter, and I'll community post about it on YouTube. Maybe we can get down with a chill stream, Saturday chill stream. It's been raining so much in LA. It makes me just want to do a chill stream while the rain's going. Just chilling, put on a nice hoodie, get in VR, maybe red pill people. That means wake them up. Maybe do a little gaming. Maybe we could shoot some people in the virtual world. Get ready for World War III. Watch some videos and maybe take some calls. Glizzy is dead, says Great Bowls of Fire. Well, y'all, that's it for me. Been fun. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Be with us this Sunday for church as always. And stay tuned for a possible Saturday chill stream. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure. We know you have many options to fly, but I thank you for your continued patronage. Flying Nickstream. All right, y'all, bye. Take care.